Hi, I am Addy from anicaps Recap, and this is the anime recap of episode 7 of Shangri-La Frontier. Previously, we followed Raku, who, while trying to get to Third Rama, was attacked by Pencilgun and the Ashura Kai clan members. Raku, with the help of Animalia, survived the first attack but quickly got surrounded by the enemies. When all hope was lost, somehow Rei, the attack master, appeared out of nowhere to save the bird face and Emil. The story continues with a flashback of Rei getting interested in Raku. She always found him crazy about trash games, and this alone made her start following him around. She tried many times to talk to him, but each time she met with failure, and that's why she decided to play Shangri-La Frontier and talk to him in the game. Back in the present, the members of the Ashura Kai clan continue attacking Raku. Meanwhile, Animalia prepares for a final attack which requires the spell master skill and a single-digit HP. It's a suicide attack that is powerful enough to kill both her opponent and herself. Since Pencilgun had already used the karmic straw doll, this time she won't be able to survive a direct hit from Animalia's curse. She jumps on Animalia trying to stop her from using her final move. However, before she could stop her, Animalia uses her final attack called Fellow Traveler, and both of them get eliminated. This shocks everyone, and Raku seizes this opportunity. While everyone looks at the elimination of Pencilgun and Animalia, Raku tells Emil to get the gate to Rabbituza ready. He jumps and gets on Rei's sword before making a leap towards the city. He then surprisingly takes to the sky by putting his foot on Rei's face before telling her sorry and jumping towards the city gate. Raku manages to jump over all of the members of the Ashura Kai clan and enters Third Rama. Unsurprisingly, they are not happy to let him slip away and take their anger out on Rei. However, Rei is lost in the memory of Raku saying sorry to her and forgot that the enemies are still there. Seeing her wide open, one of the members tries to attack Rei, but with a single swipe of her sword, Rei cuts the idiot in half, sending him back to the lobby. Watching their fellow team member getting cut in half so easily sends shivers to the remaining Ashura Kai clan members. On the other side, Rei is pissed off because of them. She wasn't able to talk to Raku. She prepares to take out her rage on all of them and blast them from existence. We then see Raku and Emil have returned to Rabbituza. Even though it was a tough scenario, somehow Raku and Emil managed to survive. The continuous traveling and transforming into a girl have led Emil to use all of her magic, but thankfully Raku bought some magic restoring items for her. He then receives an email from Pencilgun, in which she asks about the attack master and calls for a meeting with Raku and Katsuo in another game named Unite Rounds. This leaves Raku suspicious, as just moments ago, Pencilgun was ready to kill him. He then receives an email from Katsuo telling him about Pencilgun's invitation, and that they should at least hear what she has to say, to which he agrees on. Raku then gets ready for the unique scenario of Rabbituza, and along with Emil goes to the most serious training arena of Rabbituza. They finally arrive at the Vorpal Coliseum, and Raku is fascinated by the size of the arena. Emil tells him about the challenge, as Raku has to fight 10 monsters, but is strictly limited to the use of Vorpal weapons. This seems not to be a big problem for Raku, and he gets ready to face the first opponent. He then summons his Vorpal blades and waits impatiently as Emil begins to unlock Raku's first opponent. As the door lifts up, we see multiple dog-like monsters called packhounds emerge behind the bars. Raku is in shock as he has to fight multiple opponents with an average level of 65. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Rei is happy to finally be able to talk to Raku, and thinks about sending him a friend request. She wonders where he might be, since after killing the members of the Ashura Kai clan, she entered Third Rama but wasn't able to find Raku anywhere. On the other side, in the training arena, the packhounds lunges towards Raku. It's his 7th try, and thankfully, the penalty for dying is off in the training arena. The packhounds appear to be one of the most intelligent opponents Raku has faced till now. What sets them apart from others is their synchronized team attack style. Raku is sure that there must be a leader of the pack giving orders. He has fought enough to notice one of the monsters is howling from a safe distance and never attacked. Raku is sure that it is the leader of the pack and prepares to attack him. He lunges toward the lone monster and stabs it with a spiral edge move. However, that attack wasn't sufficient enough to kill the monster, and it manages to escape and blend in with the rest. Somehow, Raku doesn't lose sight of the leader and keeps chasing him. He throws a knife at the leader, and after some more attacks, Raku finally kills the leader of the pack. Without the leader, the pack has no coordination, and Raku begins taking down the rest of the hounds easily. One by one, he kills all the hounds and is able to complete the first task. Raku's next opponent is a hideous monster called the Parasite Tentacle, which is another group monster between a bear and some weird snake-like tentacles. As the name implies, Raku knew that the real monster was the tentacle, not the bear. So, he kept his focus on the tentacle, and once he severed all the 7 tentacles, the bear stopped moving, and Raku was able to defeat his second opponent. His third opponent is none other than a berserker goblin, and Raku was able to defeat it on the second try. Raku's fourth opponent is a dino boar, capable of sending its opponent flying if its nose hits you while charging. He manages to learn the charging patterns and attack time of the dino boar and easily kills it on the first try. His fifth opponent is none other than an eagle, I mean a frickin' toxic eagle, capable of dropping poison bombs while flying. This opponent proved to be much more difficult. However, after the 112th try, Raku finally was able to defeat this opponent also. His sixth opponent is a larva, but not just any larva. It's an armored larva, but Raku easily defeats it on the first try. His seventh opponent's name is Panther, a fast and strong opponent, but Raku quickly learns its strategy of getting behind its opponent for an attack, and was able to take it down on the first try. The same way he was able to defeat the 8th and 9th opponents. After defeating all of the opponents with only one remaining, Raku begins to feel terrible as he was only leveled up to 31. As Raku waits for the 10th opponent, Vayesh arrives there. He is impressed by Raku's skills and chooses Raku's last opponent himself. It turns out Vayesh went on a hunting and captured a special monster for Raku. He then throws the monster inside the arena and with a snap of his fingers unchains it. The monster begins to rise, which pretty much looks like a human fused with the tree. Vayesh wonders if Raku is able to beat the monster in his current state, so he picks a different winning criteria. To win, Raku has to survive the tree monster called Aberrant Wood Mage for 5 minutes. Even though it's a level 120 monster, he accepts the challenge, but before he could say anything else, the monster attacks Raku, which he manages to dodge by a few inches. The monster then summons roots from beneath the ground, and Raku does his best to dodge its every attack. Vayesh likes Raku's confidence and asks that if he is really able to survive the 5 minutes. The monster is on a whole different level as among the 30 million players, Raku is the first one to face this monster. And this is where this episode ends. Thanks for watching this anime recap. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more anime recaps like this. I will see you in the next video.